All right. Good morning. Welcome to Educators Drinking Coffee. I'm Juan Castillo, Assistant Principal here from Pasquotank County High School. Just giving you all a good morning, a cold, chilly morning. So I want to welcome you all. This morning, I actually have cheated a little bit as I am actually doing instant coffee. This is, let's see where the camera is. I always forget. Juan Valdez. Coffee, of course, from my native Colombia. It's actually has they've added vanilla and cinnamon to it. Again, I've never been a big proponent of flavored coffee, but I'd say it's not bad. It's not bad. It's smooth, definitely. Like I tell folks here, good morning to those of you watching. When I drink instant coffee, I don't like it black. There's something about its flavor. So this one has a little bit of cream. Good morning. I have my special guest today. So I wanted to kind of welcome her. I just want to make sure she is ready. I hope you are. Here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Whidbee. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing fine this morning. How are you?
Good. I was just telling folks here, as far as my coffee, since we are educators drinking coffee, are you drinking anything this morning, or you're pretty good?
I am drinking H2O.
Nice. That's a lot healthier. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I was telling people that today I'm kind of cheating because usually I'll brew a coffee, but today I was running a little bit short on time, so I did instant coffee. I'm not a big fan of it. But this one, my family has brought it over from Colombia. It is Juan Valdez, and its flavor. It's got vanilla and cinnamon. And I'm not too fond of flavored drinks like that, but it's okay. I mean, it is what it is. So it's a little pick-me-up.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm so glad you're able to join us this morning. Definitely wanted to tell folks here, Miss Whidbee, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I started my teaching career, public school teaching career in 2001 with Hereford County Public Schools. That would be Ahoskie, Murfreesboro, and Winton. I was there for 2 years. I was in the high school and middle school environment there. I had the opportunity to come to Elizabeth City and teach in 2003 at Elizabeth City Middle School. I was there for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yep. In 2017, I had the opportunity to go to Raleigh. Oh. And I was an assistive technology teacher at the Rehab Center for the Blind.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that was a great opportunity. And I had the opportunity to return home, and I did. So in 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to come back. River Road Middle School was where when I came back, I was at River Road Middle School. And then I was assigned to Northeastern High School for 2 years.
Yeah.
And now I'm here with you at Pasquotank County High School, and I'm very grateful to be there.
Awesome. Thank you. No, that's a great. I love the fact that you have this world of experience, especially a lot dealing with the middle school, because that also just helps us when you get kids that are coming to you, a little bit of what they should already have, some of the skills, and I guess in my thinking is you're able to identify some of those gaps probably a little easier than somebody who hasn't had middle school experience, and also in a very diverse group. That's awesome. From the school, the deaf and blind, that's pretty. I've heard of it in Raleigh.
Yes, at the Governor Moorhead campus in Raleigh.
That's awesome. Well, good. I didn't realize. I guess I started teaching around 2000, 2001 too. I was actually started out as an elementary art teacher for 4 years. I don't know if you knew that. And then I was a high school art teacher for 6 years. And then I transitioned probably in the last 10 years to administration. So it's It's crazy how time flies. You think about when we first both got started around, turn of the century. That's weird to say.
Absolutely. My kids were elementary when I started.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now they're young adults.
Mhm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm sure it's crazy. Well, cool. So, just want to talk a little bit about, some of the things that are happening in your classroom. I know, you've come to us during this virtual time, but what are some of the things, that you've been able to do with some of your kids this year?
Well, basically, education, of course, is the forefront, but my main concern is the social and emotional, learning that I could have with my students in the classroom, because I feel that if I don't get help them with that social and emotional piece,
Mhm.
then the academics are not going to be there.
And that is so true. That is so true. I don't know about you, but I've been able to do a lot of reading, especially in the last 10 months. I'll be honest, I haven't completed all the reading, but I've started like 3 books. I've gotten through about half of them. And then, but reading a lot of articles too is just the social emotional piece. I've dropped into your classroom, and that is pretty evident. With the relationships you look to build with your students, that's a strong piece in your classroom. So I appreciate that, and I know the students do appreciate that. It's hard to build those bonds with students virtually, but I think you're definitely doing an awesome job at making those connections.
We sometimes we don't think about it because it just happens so readily in face to face how unique our students are, but we really don't see that unique character of the student when we are virtual. That they have their own little unique identity, and we're kind of missing out on that part when we're virtual.
You're right. You're right. It's it's just I think about how fortunate I am in these times, and I don't know if that's bad or wrong, because from the reading and knowing some of our students and some of the struggles they're going through, and that is so hard to see through a screen. But you guys have been so accommodating. I'd really, trying to work with students, being flexible, allowing extensions and things like that. So that is kudos to you and your department, because the CTE department at Pasquotank does a great job with that, and with student involvement. Actually, before I forget, because this thing's just kind of pop in randomly to me, but I want to give a shout out. We did it yesterday at our staff meeting, but to Dr. Deborah Bazemore from our CTE department, who earned her doctorate degree.
Absolutely, congratulations.
Yes, I want to congratulate her. She's awesome, and that's hard work. To do it, as you have kids, as you're working, mom and everything. So kudos to you. My wife.
And I also want to get a shout out to the administration at Pasquotank County High School. You guys have did an awesome job making, I know me feel comfortable coming in, brand new teacher at Pasquotank. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you, and I thank you so much. I'm grateful.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate, and I'm with the belief that, we have to invest it in folks that are, especially, like you said, you came back home, because, there's something about coming back home, working in the area where you live in it. And I think you're always going to give that little extra effort, just because this is home, and you want to make it the best that you can. So I'm super excited, to have you on board. Now, one of the other things I guess I wanted to talk to you is, how do you look? Because I've noticed this, and like I mentioned before, and you mentioned about the social emotional piece. What's one of the first, and maybe you do it really not thinking about it, but how do you look to start building those relationships with the kids to then kind of, begin to add that social emotional piece?
First of all, I have to learn how to say their names correctly.
That is so true. I'll tell you a little story
First
about
thing
that.
for me. because sometimes I tell them, please work with me. I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I am definitely going to call your name correctly. And they said, Miss Whidbee, just say, they'll give me some initials to say. I said, no, that's all well and fine. But give me just a little bit of time, and I'm going to be able to say your name correctly, because that's very important to me. Definitely not to mess up anyone's name.
No, and that's all. And I agree with you 100%. And I'll tell you, especially, being Latino and having the last name Castillo, which people still ask me, is that how do you pronounce it? And I appreciate that, because I was guilty of, when I first came to this country, I have 4 names. So it's Juan David Castillo Zuluaga, right? Mm-hmm. So, but in Hispanic cultures, you'll have the Castillo comes from my father. The Zuluaga, which starts with a Z, comes from my mom's side. My mom's maiden name. So many times what happens, and I think here in the United States it's gotten better, but the beginning when I first came, this is early 80s, like they kind of placed me by my last name, Zuluaga, and always being short. And with the last name Z, back then a lot of things were done alphabetical, so I was always last. So being a foreigner, being short, being last, just gives you this, kind of feeling of, kind of just unknown, unwanted kind of thing. And until, I don't know how, but my name got switched to, then I became Castillo in a sense. And then I was kind of placed more towards the front. And it's just something like that makes a world of a difference.
Absolutely.
But I was also fortunate that I grew up in South Florida, so there's a lot of Hispanics, and they learned how to pronounce my name, and that always makes you feel good. And I think everyone has to be proud of where they come from, what their name is.
Absolutely.
And having somebody like you who takes the time, not that you're going to learn it from one day to the other, but to say, no, I'm going to learn how to say your name correctly. I'm going to learn how to say your last name. That's a big help, because it's some of the times it's those little things that just make the world of a difference. Absolutely. You know what? Who cares? And that's where it starts.
Absolutely.
And that's how you can hook them. Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say, so that's my very start there. Yeah.
No, and that's a great start, because that's your identity.
Absolutely.
Where your name comes from, and some of us, and even for some of the people don't like, because there are people don't like their name and things like that. So, but it's very important that somebody takes the time. It's just, to me, it shows you care for them as people, as as a person, and that's when you can get kids really working with you.
And it's also important to me, to not only, make sure that I know how to pronounce their name correctly, but to ask them, what do they want to be called? Because some students, they want to be called something else, but I tell them, make sure it's appropriate. Don't give me any name that I'm not going to, call you. So, not what your buddies call you, but, give me a name. Some say, they like I say, initials or something of that nature, which is fine.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. And I try to do the same thing sometimes, when I've gone into classrooms to maybe just cover class for a little bit, where at the beginning we have to cover. And the first thing I do is I apologize. I'm going to apologize to some of you as I'm going to mispronounce. Just let me know. Or if you have a preferential name that you prefer me call you, to do that. And just out of respect. And I think really always trying to show respect to those kids. It's the big, because this time, and you mentioned, is just the social emotional piece is so important. I go off a tangent, so don't. One of the biggest things that I've always think about is how at the beginning, I don't know, I'll say the beginning, but when social media really came into play, how it was touted as far as being able to connect with those loved ones far away, from people back in time that you kind of lost track. And I think that aspect still is there, but I think with those people around us that we live near, where we can simply either, make a phone call or to go visit, we've actually have gotten further apart.
That is so important to me. This is a first. I've never been on online social network or anything before. So I'm very grateful for the welcome that I received at Pasquotank County High School. I am not a part of any social network, but I know how important it is.
Yeah.
Even though my kids live in different parts of the country,
Yeah.
But it's so important. So we FaceTime each other or something of that nature, or they call me because a phone call is so important, to let me know. Just like one of my sons just called me this morning and say, Mom, he's taking his dog to the dog hotel, pet hotel, and he's getting on a flight. And I was saying, great, thank you, because they know how important that is to, just have that particular contact, with me, because I'm not on any social network.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's important.
Very important.
It is. And my mom's going to kill me, but and I don't know if you know, but my parents actually, they retired and moved back to Colombia. So I only get to see them probably maybe a couple times a year or so, but face to face, whether if they come up here or I go down there. But this year, of course, haven't been able to see them. So my mom usually, I'm going to ask her why she did. She usually joins and at least says hi. So Buenos dias, madre. My brother actually just went down to Colombia, so he's there. He lives in Orlando. But you're right. In those aspects, it's been such a blessing to be able to do that. I mean, I think about when we first started teaching, like we didn't have this opportunity. You know what I mean? It's incredible, the leaps and bounds that things that have made. And I think this is here to stay to a certain degree. I personally feel like moving forward, we could have a segment of our student population that probably does kind of high school online, kind of like you have the North Carolina virtual public schools, but we have a segment of our student population that kind of that's the way they do it. Some of them have thrived through this. They like just, hey, give me what I need to do and I'll do it and I'll come back and if I need help and do it. But we have definitely a lot of kids struggle.
We are. I used to, we used to tell our students to limit their screen time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It was a time when we told them to limit their screen time, and now, they're on the screen more than ever with this virtual learning now.
That is so true. That is so true. And I have seen articles about trying to come up with assignments that that reduce that. We're still learning. We're still learning, and I think we're getting there. So, but so what do you see coming up in the near future? What do you have going on in your classroom? I know we're kind of getting close to the end of the semester, this first semester.
Well, we're still trying to get through the majority of the content. It has been very limited. The time has been very limited. I don't have as much time to go over a lot of the. We do a lot of ethical case studies. Mm-hmm. We talk about real world, a lot of real world situations we pull into the business classes. And there has not been, a lot of time for as much as I would like, mm-hmm. To talk about those things, to relate it to the content. But I look forward to face-to-face, coming back to not normal, but to a point where we can get back into the classroom with our students and have the type of relationship that I know is going to thrive and be successful for the students, because the majority of our students, I believe, they are struggling. Some of them, like I say, they won't say anything or tell you, but you can just feel it, that they are struggling. Some with not being able to socialize the way they socialized before. I'm just helping them to feel comfortable with the situation that we have right now. And it's gonna get better. I totally believe that. And I have hope in that, that, things are going to get better and to come somewhat back to a normal school day.
I agree too. And I definitely have hopes. And just let me mention Mr. Lee, our art teacher there, says Miss Whidbee is awesome. He's a great, actually, he just reminded me to tell folks next Thursday for our staff at school For those of you that do come to school, we are going to do our waffles next Thursday, thanks to Mr. Lee and a lot of efforts that he does to help make that happen. So,
and I'm waiting to try those waffles.
they are good. He
I'm
makes
waiting on those. I love to eat and I love to cook. So
very good. And once we're able to get back, we're going to try to do a little international flair with. I have talked with our international teachers from Jamaica and from Colombia that we have to try to incorporate some of that. So I look forward to that when we get the opportunity. But awesome. I know we're coming up close to around 8:30, which is I think where if it's not, it's almost time. So
yes,
I'm going to let you go.
Thank you so much for having me this morning.
Thank you so much. You have a great day, and we'll keep talking. All right.
Okay.
Drinking coffee.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So let me just go ahead and finish. Thanks again for Ms. Whidbee for joining us. She's been awesome at P-Tank this year. I appreciate her energy, her caring for our students, and I could see that's at the top of her list when it comes to educating our kids, and we need more folks like that. But like I mentioned, we're going to have for our staff waffles. So if there's any kind of central office personnel folks, this is my invitation to you. Swing by, and we'll have waffles for you, and we'll have coffee, water, and probably some fruit and stuff. So come on by on Thursday. Any central office personnel sees this. And then also I wanted to mention, and we've done this over and over the last few times, but I did want to mention, I want to add to the stream here, is our counselors new newsletter. And I'm going to kind of see if I can do this myself, as hopefully as you are seeing here. Actually, that's great. We've had 247 visitors. This is more strictly, not strictly, but geared towards our seniors. So parents, if you're watching this or will watch this, this is the new newsletter for November and December. This has great information. It has here, if you haven't met your child's counselor, you get an opportunity to know who they are. We also have a counselor support person this year, and that's Ms. Elizabeth Huff. She is helping them as we are really gearing towards helping our kids acquire, financial support for the next level they go to. Of course, Ms. Luton, our career development coordinator. So in here, you will see the senior planning guide, different sections where it talks about applying and filling out FAFSA. I think is the free application for federal student aid. Hopefully I got that right. And then there's a scholarship corner, and there's two tabs here. The top one gives you, there's like 8 pages of scholarship opportunities. There are some links there. But then the second one, the spreadsheet, you click on that. And it's a slew of scholarships, and it's got direct links to fill out the application. So look at that. One of the biggest things we're looking at this year is really we have set a goal for about $1.5 million in scholarship opportunities for our students. We are currently at 477, which is about 31% of our goal. And, we're just hitting December. So we're almost right on track, maybe a little behind. So parents, students, if you're receiving some of those scholarship opportunities, those letters, please let your counselors know, let us know. We want to meet those goals. We have great students at Pasquotank, and we want to be able to show off all the great, wonderful things you guys are doing. Under Miss Luton's section here, she's got these tips and support, and it's awesome. It has information about the colleges that have the Career College Promise, essay writing. It's a slew of things. Please check it out. Some senior shout outs. We have seniors that currently have already been accepted to many of these schools, to ECU, Coastal Carolina, even to the University of Tampa, even out of state, NC Central, UNC Pembroke, the College of Albemarle, all that. So please check out the newsletter. Let's blow it up. Right now, it's at 247. I would love to see this jump all the way close to 500 before the end of the week. So let's make that happen. And then if you guys have any questions, Miss Moore, one of our student counselors here at the top, she is the person to contact person. So parents, if you have any information or you want to share some stuff like that, please contact Miss Moore. So I'm glad. Let me go ahead and take that out. So that is awesome. I appreciate the counselors working on that newsletter. Also this evening, don't forget, we're going to be streaming live here on our platform, our volleyball game, varsity volleyball game against Currituck. So join us. The game's at 5. So with that being said, I've really run over today a whole lot. Thank you for joining me at Educators Drinking Coffee. And I think I've timed it just right. This is my last little sip. So thank you and have a good day. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.